we got some rather unfortunate news for our Arizona men's basketball team. Arizona men's basketball team head coach Sean Miller has been fired by the team. Quote has came out by athletics director Dave Heek. He said, and I quote, "We appreciate Sean's commitment to our basketball program and to the university. After taking the many factors involved into account, we simply believe that we need a fresh start, and now is the time. I want to thank Sean, Amy, and their sons for their service to the university and wish them the very best in the future." At Miller as a coach, he's been a part of the University of Arizona since 2009. He led them to 7 NCAA tournaments and 3 Elite Eight appearances, and he won at least a share of 5 Pac-12 regular season championships under Miller. That's what Arizona did under Sean Miller. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna kind of flash back to a topic that we talked about a long time ago. Arizona had been entangled in a 2017 federal investigation in corruption in college basketball because former assistant coach Emmanuel Richardson, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit bribery after being accused of accepting $20,000 to lure to kind of bring in Arizona's players to sports agent Christian Dawkins. And then during Dawkins' trial, prosecutors played an FBI intercepted call in which Richardson told Dawkins that Miller was paying $10,000 a month to NBA player. Currently, he plays for the Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton. And Ayton and Miller have consistently denied paying players to attend Arizona. And this article was written by Jeff Borzello, ESPN staff writer. So, Nate, you go first. Your thoughts on Sean Miller being fired?
Well, best of luck. Best of luck to Sean Miller in the future, whatever the future holds for him. There's a lot of factors as to why he could have been fired. First of all, what you just mentioned could have been one of them. I know this happened back in 2017. But like they did say that they need a fresh start and now is the time. So that could be a reason. Other reasons, obviously, of course, that he can't get them over the hump, and that that fresh start could mean that they need a new coach to get them over that hump. There's a lot of those couple of factors could lead into that. But yeah, I think we did make a video about that case more. I'll leave it in the description down below. So basically, what it was like I don't, is it would I want to say false funding or no? No, I don't want to say that. It's false funding. It,
What happened with
yeah, yeah,
2017?
yeah,
They basically they are accused of basically bribing players to
yeah.
come to the
Oh,
university.
yeah. All right, yeah. So, yeah. Basically, what happened in a couple of other colleges too. I know Notre Dame got caught up in something like that. Their football program.
Yeah, and
Um,
we've talked and a couple of other organizations did too, and I can't
yeah.
remember them off the top of my head. Notre Dame was one. I think UNC wasn't UNC. Did UNC
No,
get in?
UNC was caught with what do you call it? Partying while under the COVID restrictions. They were like partying or something like that.
Yeah, but wasn't it might that might have been it, but wasn't it? I could have sworn it was some. I can't remember, but we've talked about it a couple of times, and it
Yeah,
is very common in NCAA.
yeah, it is. So, yeah. So yeah, that could have been a reason why he was fired. It did happen like 4 or 5 years ago. Well, 4 years ago actually. My bad. But it still could have been a factor. But with that being said, whatever the factor was, it didn't stop him from getting fired. Because at this point, obviously he's jobless, so now he has to look for another job. And whatever that is, I wish him the best of luck. Whether he was involved in this or not, I'm honestly not sure, but I will say this: I do hope he learns his lesson from it. I mean, it was 4 years ago, and a lot can happen in 4 years. So hopefully he has learned from these mistakes and he can just move on moving forward. And with that being said, I wish him the best of luck to whatever his future holds for him. And I'll pass on to you now, Mario.
Yeah, well, same thing here. I wish Sean Miller the best of luck in whatever is next for his collegiate coaching career. Yeah, right now, Nate, when you look at Arizona basketball, they're not in a good place. They're really not. I mean, they received 5 level 1 violations due to what happened in 2017, and they actually put a 1 year postseason ban this past season, so they weren't really in the postseason after this 1 year. So or the March Madness, they weren't in it. So I mean, when you really look at it, Nate, and the way I like to do it is like you really compare it. You look at the Arizona men's basketball team, right? And you look at the Arizona women's basketball team, and you see how good they did this year. They lost by a point. They almost won it by 2 more points. They would have won the NCAA championship for the women's. So I do agree. It is time for Arizona to make a fresh start and kind of get past this stage in in their team, because let's be honest, it has affected them for 4 years. We now you can't like now it, levels of trust end up becoming betrayed. Now you can't really trust other players because the accusations about them has been leaked. You can't trust the coaches because you feel like they're a part of it. So now it's time for Arizona to really just start a whole clean slate. And it really is unfortunate because Arizona is a very good basketball team. You know, like I read, 7 national championship March Madness appearances in 11 seasons. That is really good. So, or 12 seasons, excuse me. That is really good. So, I mean, it really is unfortunate, but I feel like this is exactly what they have to do. Start a whole clean slate and end up bringing in or building a new identity within that Arizona basketball team. And unfortunately, it starts with Sean Miller. Okay, unfortunately, they felt like that was the best move for them to do. And now they got to go look for another coach. Now, it's going to be kind of tough to find a new coach, because there's not really many options you can go with. There really is not a lot. Um, Personally, I think you hire outside the organization because the organization itself, I don't think they're as illustrious as a University of North Carolina. University of North Carolina went from Roy Williams to Hubert Davis. Why? Because the University of North Carolina has been a prestigious basketball school for so long. You know, they're not as that basketball school as a whole is not as illustrious. Yes, you had DeAndre Ayton, who was the number one pick in the draft, but that's not enough. So with that being said, I feel like they should hire a coach outside the program to kind of lead them into a new system because if you stay in that program, I don't think it's going to get any better from there because it's the same people involved. So you get people from outside the program, you build a new identity within that college. I think you could take Arizona men's basketball to a lot of good places. But with that being said, I wish Sean Miller the best of luck in whatever team he goes to next. Hopefully he can kind of erase that narrative of him on him, and hopefully he can end up building success with a different team.